Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into the heart of fascinating topics, giving you the clearest, most engaging insights you can find. Today, we're exploring a truly unique intersection, the profound impact of law, specifically immigration law, on individual human lives. It's a field where, compassion meets precision, and the work can be deeply personal. But what if you could build a career in this vital area that offers not just profound personal meaning, but also incredible professional freedom? That's our mission today. We're taking a deep dive into building exactly that kind of career.
And that unpacking is crucial because this isn't just about a job title. It's about redefining what a legal career can even look like. We're exploring what it takes to become a freelance immigration paralegal, drawing insights from this, incredibly comprehensive guide we found. Our mission is to unpack the practical steps, the surprising benefits, and, ultimately helping you see how you can become, as our source so powerfully puts it, a bridge between hope and stability.
A bridge between hope and stability. I like that. So when we talk about a freelance immigration paralegal, we're really delving into something far beyond a typical back office role, aren't we? This position sits right at the intersection of complex legal processes and, deeply personal human stories. Our source calls it a translator of complex legal processes and a vital source of clarity, compassion, and precision. It really isn't just about paperwork. It's profoundly about people.
Exactly. Yeah, a freelance immigration paralegal is essentially an independent professional. You're providing services on a contract basis. Could be to law firms, could be to other legal entities, or even directly to clients, but always under attorney supervision. That's key. You're a specialized service provider. And your responsibilities, they're incredibly diverse. You could be drafting crucial USCIS forms like the I-130, that's for family sponsorship, or the I-485 for adjusting status, getting a green card here in the U.S., or even the I-601A, that's a provisional waiver, super important for keeping families together. And this also involves writing detailed hardship statements. I mean, these are often the emotional core of a waiver case, right? Explaining the severe suffering a U.S. citizen would face. Plus drafting affidavits, concise legal briefs. You might prepare asylum packets, motions, critical responses to RFEs, requests for evidence, or NOIs, notices of intent to deny. Those are big ones. Beyond drafting, you're managing client intake, document collection, organizing evidence, sometimes mountains of it, creating exhibit indexes, tracking critical deadlines for EOI, USCIS, NBC, IC. The list goes on. And here's a massive appeal. Like you mentioned, this work can be entirely remote or hybrid, or maybe occasional in-person stuff. Incredible flexibility.
It's clear this role offers immense flexibility, yeah. But why immigration specifically? What makes this field so uniquely suited for a freelance model? And why is it, as the source says, where law meets humanity? What's the core of that?
That's a profound point. Well, first, there's the practical aspect. Immigration law is federal. That means you can support attorneys across all 50 states completely remotely. That's huge. But beyond that, a really insightful takeaway from our source is that immigration law is less about just, transactional exchanges and more about transformation. You're not just moving paper, you're often facilitating someone's fundamental right to safety or family reunification or just the chance for a stable life. Think about it. Reuniting families, helping victims of domestic violence or human trafficking find safety here. Assisting dreamers, asylum seekers in their pursuit of stability. Guiding U.S. citizens through really complex spousal petitions and waivers. This creates a uniquely resilient demand for these services and, honestly, a deep sense of purpose that maybe some traditional legal work might lack.
That transformational aspect, that really does change the nature of the work, doesn't it? Now, for anyone thinking about shifting from a traditional paralegal role, maybe in a firm, what are the core differences? Freelance versus in-house. It's far more than just working from home, right?
Well, it absolutely is.
Yeah, we connect this to the bigger picture. The distinction is significant across several fronts, actually. As a freelance paralegal, your employment status changes. You're an independent contractor, a 1099, not a W-2 employee. Your work hours, totally flexible, project-based usually, not a fixed 9 to 5 or often longer in an in-house role. Your clientele, this is a big one, can span multiple attorneys, multiple firms. You get variety. Instead of just being stuck with one firm, your income becomes variable, but it's highly scalable when you're freelance, compared to just a fixed salary. And perhaps most appealing, your autonomy is high, really high, versus low to medium in an in-house setting. Finally, benefits. These are self-managed when you're freelance. Health insurance, retirement that's on you versus employer provided. The appeal is clear. You set your own rates, your schedule, work from anywhere, choose your clients, build your own business. But, and it's a big but, it also means you're solely responsible for managing your own taxes, marketing, and critically setting clear boundaries. That last one is tough sometimes.
Right. That boundary setting is huge.
Yep.
So with all that freedom and responsibility, what are the key traits? what truly sets great freelance immigration paralegals apart. Our source identified 6 essential characteristics. First, you have to be meticulously detail-oriented because, as the source warns, and this is a direct quote, USCIS and EOIR don't forgive careless errors. Ouch.
No, they really don't. Accuracy is paramount.
Second, self-motivated. You're your own boss, right? You have to drive your own work. No one's looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. Discipline is key.
Third, you need to be legally knowledgeable. Immigration law is constantly shifting, evolving. Continuous learning is a must.
Absolutely. It's not static at all.
Fourth, a clear communicator. Crucial for explaining complex stuff to attorneys, clients, government agencies, everyone involved.
Clarity avoids so many problems.
Fifth, compassion. This feels really central to immigration work. It's essential for handling the often difficult, emotionally charged client stories you'll encounter.
Definitely. You need empathy, but also professionalism.
And finally, you must be truly business-minded, understanding that you are not just a paralegal providing a service. You're genuinely a business owner building an enterprise.
That mindset shift is fundamental. You are running a business.
Okay, so we've laid out the landscape of this unique role. It sounds incredibly rewarding, but also demanding. Now, the big question for anyone listening who's considering this path is, how do you actually do it? How do you step from being an employee, maybe, to building your own independent venture? Where do we even begin?
That's a fantastic question, and it really starts with a solid foundation. You need to build the house before you move in, right? The very first step in legitimizing your business is choosing the right legal structure. Our source highly recommends a single-member LLC, an LLC, limited liability company. This structure offers several key advantages. It legally separates your personal assets, your house, your car, from your business liabilities. That's huge protection. It's generally simpler to manage compared to, say, an S-Corp or C-Corp, especially at the start. And honestly, it conveys a professional appearance on your invoices, your contracts. Look serious. For tax purposes, which everyone worries about, you can still file using your personal return via something called a Schedule C. Keeps things straightforward initially. A good tip here, use your state's Secretary of State website for filing. The fees are usually pretty reasonable, typically $50 to maybe $200 depending on your state.
Okay, LLC. That makes sense for protection and simplicity. And like a social security number for your business, you'll definitely need an EIN, right?
Yes, absolutely. Getting your EIN, that's Employer Identification Number, from the IRS is crucial. Non-negotiable, really. Even if you don't plan to hire employees ever, you'll need it. You need it to open a business bank account. You need it to file your business taxes. And many law firms will require it before they'll issue you a 1099 contract. They need it for their records. The great news is it's completely free. And you can apply online instantly at irzs.gov. Super easy process.
Free and instant, can't beat that. Now, a critical piece of advice that, you hear all the time, but it really can't be stressed enough, is about separating finances. Do not mix personal and business funds.
Oh, this is the golden rule. Absolutely non-negotiable. Setting up a dedicated business bank account is vital. Why? Well, for accepting payments professionally, first off. For accurately tracking your income and expenses, which makes tax time way less painful. And simply for maintaining a clean, professional image with the law firms you work with. Good news here, too. Many banks offer free business checking accounts, often with no minimum balance required. Shop around a bit.
Okay, so business structure sorted, EIN obtained, separate bank account opened. What's the next critical piece of the puzzle for protecting yourself, especially when you're working independently? Contracts.
Bingo. That would absolutely be your contracts. An independent contractor agreement is essentially your shield, your rulebook for the relationship. This legal document, and you should ideally have an attorney help draft your template, needs to meticulously outline the exact scope of services you'll provide. Be specific. Crystal clear payment terms your rate, how often you bill, when payment is due, any late fees. A robust confidentiality and non-disclosure clause, NDA. You're handling sensitive info. Potentially non-solicitation or non-compete clauses depending on the situation, though be careful with those. It also needs to cover your termination policy, how either party can end the agreement, and clarify the ownership of the work product. Usually, the attorney or firm owns the final work. It's peace of mind, really, for both you and the attorney.
Right, sets expectations clearly from the start. Now, for many starting out, just thinking about the tech stack, all the software and tools can feel overwhelming. What are the absolute must-have tools? How do you avoid getting bogged down right at the beginning?
Great question. Yeah, tech overwhelm is real. The key is to think functionality first, not specific brands. You don't need everything on day one. You'll need a reliable system for email and documents. Something like Google Workspace is excellent and affordable. Gives you professional Gmail, Google Docs, Google Drive for storage.
For invoicing, you need a way to send professional bills and get paid. Wave is a fantastic free option, really robust. PayPal Business or QuickBooks Self-Employed are also very popular. You'll also need time tracking. Even if you charge flat fees, you need to know where your time is going. Helps with profitability, prevents burnout. Toggle or Clockify are simple, effective, and have free tiers. For file sharing, secure cloud storage is essential. Dropbox, Google Drive, just make sure it's secure. For client task management, something visual can really help. Trello, ClickUp, Notion, they help you organize your workflow, see what stage cases are at. Many have free plans. And for PDF editing, immigration law involves tons of PDFs. Tools like PDF Exchange Editor, which is more affordable, or the standard Adobe Acrobat are widely used for filling forms, combining documents. Don't worry about getting dozens of apps. Start lean. Build a system that feels natural to you. You can always add more later if you genuinely need it.
Start lean, build as you go. Good advice.
Yeah.
And beyond the functional tools, what about that professional polish, that first impression you give to potential attorney clients?
That's right. Setting up a business email and branding makes a significant difference. It really does. Using your personal Gmail address, like jane.doit.paralegal@gmail.com, it just looks, well, less professional when you're operating as an independent business. Instead, invest a little in a business domain and email address. Something like hello@yourparalegalbiz.com. You can easily set this up through platforms like Google Workspace, Squarespace, or GoDaddy. It's usually only $6 to $12 a month. Totally worth it. You should also consider creating a simple logo. Canva is great for this, even if you're not a designer. Maybe a basic business card, digital or print. And perhaps this simple Gumroad store or a one-page website, a landing page, to showcase your services clearly. It's all about building trust from that very first interaction, looking like you mean business.
Okay, looking professional. And then there's this smart, proactive step for protecting yourself against the unexpected, like making a mistake.
Right. That's liability insurance, specifically errors and omissions insurance, often called E&O. This is professional liability insurance. It protects you if a client, meaning the attorney or their client indirectly, accuses you of an error or negligence that caused them financial harm or damage their case. Some law firms or government contracts might even require you to carry it before they'll hire you. So it's good to look into. Providers like Hiscox, Next Insurance, or Thimble offer coverage specifically for freelancers and independent contractors. Costs typically range from $20 to $50 a month for a solo contractor. It's basically peace of mind insurance for both you and your clients.
Definitely seems worth the investment for peace of mind. Finally, before we move on, let's circle back to the absolute non-negotiable ethical considerations, especially dealing with such sensitive information in immigration cases.
This is paramount, absolutely critical. Privacy, ethics, and compliance. You're dealing with highly sensitive client information. We're talking about deeply personal details, domestic violence histories, medical records, financial struggles, trauma narratives, information that can impact someone's entire life trajectory. So you must take data security with the utmost seriousness. This means using strong, unique passwords for everything, enabling two-factor authentication, 2FA, on all your accounts, email, cloud storage, everything, encrypting your files when storing or sending them, and never, ever storing client data on unsecured personal devices or public Wi-Fi. It's also crucial to use disclaimers when needed. A simple, "I am not an attorney and cannot provide legal advice," in your email signature or communications clarifies your role. And above all, always follow your specific state's laws on what paralegals can and cannot do without direct attorney supervision. Unauthorized practice of law, UPL rules, are serious. Your ethics and your integrity are just as important as your legal skills in this field, maybe even more so.
Absolutely. Foundational stuff. Okay, now let's delve deeper into the day-to-day. How do you actually run highly professional business remotely, ensuring you stay organized, communicate clearly, deliver top-quality work from anywhere? It sounds like it all comes down to your tech stack and your workflow, right?
Exactly. Your tech stack, that term we mentioned, is essentially just the collection of digital tools you use to manage your business operations. As a freelance immigration paralegal, your tech stack effectively replaces the internal systems, the servers, the software, the admin support of a traditional law firm. The goal isn't to buy the most expensive software out there, not at all. It's to build a lean, affordable system that fits your workflow. That's the key phrase from the source. Why? To stay organized across multiple clients and cases, to track deadlines accurately, to collaborate securely with attorneys, to reduce errors, and, importantly, to save time through smart automation where possible.
Okay, so staying organized without the firm's infrastructure, how do you track cases effectively without that expensive software the big law firms use, like DocketWise or LawLogix?
Yeah, you absolutely don't need those pricey systems, especially when starting out. They're great, but overkill initially for many freelancers. You can use free or low-cost alternatives for case management. Tools like Trello, ClickUp, or Notion are fantastic for this. Think of them like digital whiteboards. You can create boards for each law firm you work with, or maybe by case type. Then you create columns or stages like intake received, documents collected, forms drafted, ready for attorney review, submitted, and follow-up needed. You can use checklists within each task, add tags for priority or case type, and set due dates. Keeps everything visible and helps you track progress without breaking the bank.
That makes sense, using visual boards. Now, the reality of immigration work, it's so heavily document-based. Tons of forms, letters, evidence. What tools can truly save your sanity here?
Oh yeah. Forms and document preparation tools are absolutely non-negotiable. You live in PDFs and Word docs, basically. For those fillable USCIS forms, which are mostly PDFs, Adobe Acrobat Pro is the industry standard, but PDF Exchange Editor is a really solid, more affordable alternative that many freelancers love. Does almost everything Acrobat does. For creating and managing your templates, cover letters, declarations, RFE responses, waivers, Google Docs is excellent. It's free, cloud-based, and has great version control so you can see changes. When it comes to translating documents, maybe for client review or internal understanding, Google Translate can be okay for initial drafts. But, and this is critical, always use a certified human translator for any final versions required for submission to USCIS or the courts. Accuracy is vital. For e-signatures on things like client declarations or supporting letters, DocuSign or HelloSign are popular choices. Many have free tiers that are enough to get started. The absolute key tip here, though, proactively build a comprehensive library of reusable templates. This will significantly cut down your drafting time. Seriously, it's a game changer.
Build that template library. Got it. How do you keep communication professional and effective when you're working remotely? You're juggling multiple attorneys, maybe even clients indirectly. You're the face of your own business now.
Right. Communication is foundational. Your professional image depends on it. Email is your primary channel usually. Use that branded business email address we talked about, maybe through Gmail for business or Zoho Mail, a huge time saver. Set up canned responses or email templates for common things, acknowledging receipt of a case, requesting documents, providing status updates. For quicker messages, maybe coordinating with an attorney on a specific point, WhatsApp Business or Slack can be really efficient. But, and this is crucial always, set clear boundaries for response times and preferred channels. Don't feel obligated to respond instantly 24/7. Manage expectations clearly in your contract or onboarding communication. This protects your own work-life balance, which is vital for sustainability.
Boundaries, again, so important. What about getting paid? And actually knowing how much effort you're putting into each case, that's fundamental for any business owner, right? Tracking your time.
Indeed. Absolutely fundamental. Time tracking and invoicing are vital. Even if you primarily charge flat fees, you still need to track your time. Why? Because it helps you understand your profitability on different case types. It highlights scope creep when a project takes way longer than anticipated. And it helps you manage your own capacity and prevent burnout. Tools like Clockify or Toggle are great for this. Simple, easy to use, track time by case, client, or specific task. Many have free versions that are perfectly adequate. For invoicing, as we mentioned, Wave is a fantastic free option. It lets you create professional invoices, track payments, even run basic reports. PayPal Business or QuickBooks Self-Employed are also popular choices, especially if you want more integrated bookkeeping. And remember, always include clear payment terms in your contracts and on your invoices. Things like net 15, due in 15 days, or specifying a late fee after 30 days. This helps ensure you get paid on time.
Makes sense. Track time even for flat fees. Now, for sharing and storing those incredibly sensitive client files securely, what's the best practice there? Cloud storage seems obvious, but how do you do it right?
File sharing and storage must prioritize security and organization. This is non-negotiable given the data you handle. Recommended tools include secure cloud storage like Google Drive, Business Version, or Dropbox Business. They offer more security features than personal accounts. Organization is key. You should set up a clear folder structure, maybe by firm name, client last name, a case type, e.g. I-130, I-601A. Use a consistent file naming convention, something descriptive like client last name I-601A cycle YYY mm-dd.pdf. It helps you and the attorney find things instantly. Crucially, always enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, on these cloud storage accounts. Use strong, unique passwords, and restrict file sharing permissions. Only grant access to the specific attorney or necessary collaborators. Don't just share folders widely. Your reputation for confidentiality depends on this.
Security first, always. Now, with all this document work, efficiency sounds paramount. You mentioned templates earlier. Is there like a secret weapon to really cut down on that drafting time?
Absolutely. That library of templates you should have ready is the secret weapon. It will literally cut your drafting time in half, often even more dramatically once you refine them. What should be in this library? Start with templates for cover letters for various common forms, I-130, I-485, I-601A, if you rake on my petitions, Violence Against Women Act. Also, prepare affidavit and declaration templates for the client, the spouse, friends, family members who might provide supporting statements. Develop structured hardship letter templates, maybe categorized by theme. Extreme emotional hardship, medical hardship, financial hardship. This helps you organize the arguments. Have templates ready for responding to RFEs, requests for evidence, and NOAs, notices of intent to deny. These often have standard formats. A basic table of contents or exhibit index template saves time when compiling large packets. And don't forget your own business templates, your standard invoice, your independent contractor agreement. Bonus points. Create editable PDF versions of your client intake forms. And if you work with specific language groups often, having Spanish versions handy can be a huge plus.
That template library sounds like a serious productivity booster. Now, it's vital to clarify this core principle again. You are always working under the explicit direction of an attorney. What does that truly mean for your role? And, importantly, your boundaries. What can you absolutely not do?
This is fundamental. A bright line you cannot cross. And it cannot be stressed enough. As a freelance paralegal, you are not authorized to give legal advice, ever. You can explain processes, gather information, but you cannot advise a client on their legal strategy or chances of success. You cannot guarantee outcomes. No, don't worry, this case is a slam dunk. That's the attorney's domain. You generally cannot file forms directly with USCIS or the courts under your own name. You prepare them for the attorney, usually working within their system or providing the final package for them to file. And you absolutely cannot represent anyone before DHS, EOIR, the immigration courts, or any other tribunal. Think of it this way, as our source suggests, the attorney is the architect. They design the legal strategy, they hold the ultimate responsibility, they sign the forms. You are the skilled builder. You meticulously construct the case according to their blueprints, using your expertise in preparation and organization. Our source states it clearly. Your power is in preparation. You are the case builder. Crossing that line into giving advice or making strategic decisions isn't just unethical. It's likely the unauthorized practice of law, UPL, which can severely jeopardize a client's case, your relationship with the attorney, and your own career. Stick to your lane.
Stick to your lane. Be the builder, not the architect. Got it. Okay, let's walk through a practical example. How does a remote case actually flow from beginning to end for a freelance paralegal? Let's use that I-601A waiver case you mentioned earlier.
Okay, yeah, a basic remote case prep workflow for an I-601A extreme hardship waiver might look something like this. Step 1, intake. The attorney hires you, shares a case summary, maybe prior filings if any, and the client's contact information, with permission of course. Step 2, document request. You review the info, then send a customized checklist to the client, or sometimes to the attorney to forward. This checklist outlines exactly what documents and information are needed. Proof of relationship, hardship evidence, financial docs, etc. Translated if needed. Step 3, drafting. Once you start getting documents and info back, you begin drafting the core components. The waiver form itself, I-601A, the detailed cover letter arguing the hardship, the qualifying relatives hardship declaration, maybe the applicant's own statement. Step 4, evidence organization. As evidence comes in medical records, letters, photos, you organize it logically. Maybe you create a tab, PDF exhibit packet, or a detailed exhibit index to make it super clear and easy for the USCIS officer to review. Step 5, attorney review. Once your draft and the evidence packet are ready, you send everything securely to the attorney for their meticulous review, edits, and approval. They provide feedback. Step 6, finalization. You incorporate the attorney's edits, finalize all the documents, make sure everything is perfect, and deliver the complete, ready-to-sign and submit package back to the attorney. And throughout this whole process, remember, keep all versions clearly labeled, draft 1, draft 2, final for review, final. Back everything up securely using your cloud storage system. Communication is key at each step.
That's a really helpful walkthrough. Intake, request, draft, organize, review, finalize. Seems logical. Now, the key to a smooth, successful relationship with the attorney often comes down to communication, especially remotely. How do you keep those relationships strong when you're not in the same office?
Yeah. Communicating with attorneys effectively is crucial for repeat business and referrals. Your goal, always, is to make their lives easier. Some tips. Use short, succinct summaries when emailing updates. Get to the point quickly. Maintain a professional tone, even in quick messages like Slack or WhatsApp. Don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions if instructions seem vague. It saves time and prevents errors down the road, way better than guessing. Always send proactive status updates. Attorneys love being kept in the loop without having to chase you down. A quick draft of hardship letter sent for your review goes a long way. And most importantly, respect their time. Don't overload them with unfiltered data dumps or ask questions you could easily find the answer to yourself. Be prepared before you reach out. Creating a simple client communication log for each firm tracking key deadlines, requests, and expectations can be a great internal tool for you to stay organized.
Proactive updates and respecting their time. Good tips. What about communicating directly with clients? Are there special considerations there, given you're not the attorney? Assuming the attorney has authorized it, of course.
Yes, absolutely. If the attorney specifically directs you to communicate with clients for things like document gathering or clarifying details, there are important guidelines. First, always use attorney-approved intake forms or document checklists if they have them. Second, always include clear disclaimers in your communication. Something like, "Hi, client name. I'm assisting attorney's name with preparing the documents for your case. Please note that I'm a paralegal, not an attorney, and I cannot provide legal advice." Put it in your email signature too. Provide clear deadlines for when you need documents back, but also remember that many clients are dealing with immense stress, trauma, or language barriers. Be empathetic, patient, but also concise and clear in your requests. The advice from our source here is really powerful. Treat clients like real people, not case numbers. It not only builds trust and rapport, but often leads to them providing more complete and accurate information, which ultimately strengthens the case.
Treat clients like real people. That sounds like good advice for any field, honestly. Now, the global nature of this work you mentioned, supporting attorneys nationwide, that means you'll often be working across different time zones, maybe even with clients or attorneys from different cultural backgrounds. How do you manage that seamlessly?
That's a very common reality for remote freelance paralegals, yeah. Working across time zones and cultures requires a bit of planning and the right tools. For scheduling calls across time zones, tools like Calendly or Acuity scheduling are invaluable. They automatically adjust for time differences and let attorneys book time with you easily based on your actual availability. Always clearly state your own working hours and time zone in your email signature. This helps manage expectations about when you'll respond. For basic communications or gathering initial information across language barriers, Google Translate can be a helpful starting point. But again, always clarify important points to assure accuracy. Don't rely on it for nuances. If you frequently work with clients from specific language groups, consider creating bilingual intake forms or checklists. It makes the process smoother and more accessible for them. Being culturally sensitive and aware goes a long way.
Good tools and clear communication help bridge those gaps. Okay, finally, let's touch again on the profound responsibility that comes with handling incredibly sensitive documents. What are the absolute non-negotiables for security and care here?
This cannot be overstated. It's core to your ethical obligations. You will often be the first person, sometimes even before the attorney, to read highly sensitive, deeply personal information. Like we said, domestic violence statements, mental health evaluations detailing trauma, medical reports about serious conditions, detailed trafficking histories. This is heavy stuff. You must protect this information as if it were your own deepest secret. How? Store these documents only in secure, encrypted folders within your business cloud storage, not just lying around on your desktop. Never, ever share sensitive files over unsecured channels like regular email attachments. Use secure file sharing links from your cloud provider or password-protected PDFs. Always use strong password protection on PDFs containing sensitive client data if you need to share them externally, like with the client themselves for review. And crucially, securely delete unneeded files or old versions when a case is closed or the information is no longer required, following the attorney's instructions and your own data retention policy. Don't just let sensitive data linger indefinitely. Our source really stresses this. Your ethics and integrity are just as important as your legal skills. Building and maintaining a reputation for absolute trustworthiness is critical in this field.
Ethics and integrity as important as legal skills. Powerful. Okay, so we've covered the foundational setup, mastering the remote workflow, the ethical considerations. Now let's shift gears. What does this all mean for actually landing those first clients? And then crucially, building a steady stream of work to truly sustain your freelance business. How do you find the work and make it last?
Right, the business development side. Finding clients is often the biggest hurdle people perceive. But the good news is, as our source highlights, immigration attorneys, especially solo practitioners and small firms, are often hungry for reliable freelance paralegals. They need help. So, where to find freelance paralegal jobs? Key sources include professional networking sites like LinkedIn. Optimize your profile, connect with immigration attorneys. Freelance marketplaces like Upwork can be good starting points, though competition can be high. Niche law firm Facebook groups, especially ones like solo immigration attorneys or local bar association groups, can be gold mines. Attorneys often post looking for freelance help there. Other general freelancer platforms like People per Hour or even Fiverr for specific well-defined tasks might yield opportunities. Don't overlook traditional paralegal job boards like FlexJobs, focuses on remote work, Indeed, or specific legal job boards. Filter for contract or freelance. And finally, proactive direct email outreach to solo or small immigration firms whose work you admire can be very effective if done thoughtfully.
Okay, lots of potential channels. But how do you make that critical, strong first impression when you reach out or apply? What do you need ready to go?
Good question. You need a few key essentials to have ready to create that professional image instantly. First, a concise freelance resume, or perhaps even better, a short capability statement. This isn't your old employee resume. It should highlight your specific immigration experience, skills relevant to freelancing, like specific software, remote work proficiency, and the value you bring to attorneys. Second, a compelling pitch email template you can customize. Short, clear, focused on their needs. Third, that branded email address and professional signature we talked about looks instantly more credible. Fourth, if possible, have a sample work product ready, maybe a redacted cover letter or a brief hardship statement paragraph, just something to showcase your writing style and attention to detail if they ask. You don't need a huge portfolio to start. The source emphasizes you just need enough to show competence and build trust right out of the gate.
Enough to show competence and build trust? Makes sense. Now, for many, this is the hardest part, the art of pitching yourself. Sending that cold email without feeling awkward or like a pushy salesperson, how do you do that effectively?
Yeah, nobody likes feeling salesy. It doesn't have to be daunting, though. A good sample cold outreach email, short version, focuses on being helpful, not just asking for work. Start with a clear, informative subject line, something like freelance immigration paralegal available for USCIS, EOR, and waiver support, or experienced paralegal support for family-based and humanitarian cases. Keep the email body concise. Start with a brief intro. My name is your name, and I'm a freelance immigration paralegal with over X years of experience specializing in mention 1 to 2 key areas like waivers, asylum, or family petitions. Immediately state your value proposition. I help busy immigration attorneys like you streamline their caseloads and improve efficiency by providing fast, reliable, and meticulously detailed case preparation support available on your terms and timeline. Focus on their benefit. Give specific examples of tasks or case types you excel at. I regularly assist with drafting I-130 petitions, preparing I-601A waiver packets, responding to complex RFEs, organizing exhibits, and managing client document collection. End with a clear, low-pressure call to action. If you could use an extra set of experienced hands, I'd love to connect briefly to discuss how I might support your practice. You can view samples of my work link, if you have one. Close professionally with your name, title, freelance immigration paralegal, email, and maybe your LinkedIn profile link. It's about being direct, professional, and focused on solving their problem, being overworked.
Helpful, not pushy. I like that framing. So when law firms do decide to hire a freelance paralegal, what are they really looking for? Beyond just the skills listed on a resume, what makes them choose one freelancer over another?
That's a great question. Attorneys are incredibly busy, often overwhelmed. What they really want is someone who gets it, someone they don't have to constantly micromanage or handhold. They highly value accuracy and meticulous attention to detail. Fewer errors mean fewer RFEs or headaches for them. Familiarity with specific, often complex forms is huge, especially waiver forms. I-601, I-601A, I-212, and humanitarian forms, asylum, U-Visa, T-Visa, VA-WA. If you know these well, you're valuable. Strong writing and organization skills are critical for drafting compelling declarations and putting together clean, logical submission packets. Fast turnaround time while maintaining quality is often a major factor. They hire freelancers to save time, and clear, proactive communication, keeping them informed without needing to be asked. The bottom line, as our source emphasizes repeatedly, is that your job is to make their life easier. If you consistently demonstrate that you can do that, you become an indispensable asset, not just a contractor.
Make their life easier. That seems to be the mantra. Okay, the crucial question for any freelancer. How do you price your services appropriately? You want to be competitive, but you also need to be profitable and value your expertise.
Right, pricing is always tricky but critical. There are a few common pricing models in this field. Hourly. This is common for ongoing support or tasks where the scope is variable. Rates in the U.S. typically range from $35 to $75 per hour, sometimes higher depending on experience and location. Flat fee. This is very popular for specific, well-defined tasks like preparing a particular form or packet, the NG and I-130 package, and I-601A waiver draft. Fees can range widely based on complexity, maybe $150 for a simple form add-on, up to $650 or more for a complex waiver component draft. Attorneys often prefer the predictability of flat fees. Monthly retainer. For attorneys who need consistent, dedicated support, for example, 10, 20 hours per week, a monthly retainer can work well. This might range from $1,500 to $4,000 plus per month, guaranteeing you income and them availability. Whichever model you use, the key is clear billing. Provide itemized invoices, even for flat fees, showing the work included, detailing hours, tasks, and deliverables. Be transparent, and don't undervalue yourself, especially as you gain experience. Research typical rates in your niche.
Hourly, flat fee, retainer. Good options to consider. Now, once you land a client, how do you turn that one-time gig or initial project into a long-term partnership? How do you keep those attorneys coming back to you specifically instead of trying someone new next time?
Retention. That's where the real stability comes from. Building trust and demonstrating ongoing value is absolutely key. Some tips to keep attorneys coming back. First and foremost, meet deadlines consistently. Reliability is paramount. Send proactive updates without being asked. Anticipate their need to know the status. Like we said, huge differentiator. Offer to help with their least favorite cases or tasks. Maybe they hate responding to certain types of RFEs. Become their go-to for that. Solve their pain points. Be open to feedback and revisions. Show you're collaborative and focused on delivering exactly what they need. Gently suggest improvements to their processes if you see opportunities. Hey, I noticed we could streamline document collection with this checklist. Shows you're thinking strategically. And simply always express gratitude for their trust in business. A little appreciation goes a long way. Our source notes something really important here. One solid attorney relationship can turn into 5+ referrals. Nurturing these connections is absolutely the best way to build a sustainable business.
Solve their pain points and nurture the relationship. Makes sense. But not every potential client is a good fit, right? What are the crucial red flags to watch out for? Things that signal you should maybe politely decline the work to protect your business and your own peace of mind.
Absolutely. Saying no sometimes is just as important as saying yes. It's vital to recognize red flags to avoid when vetting potential clients. Be wary of firms that ghost you after delivering work or are consistently slow to pay. That's a major red flag about their respect for contractors. Attorneys who seem to expect 24/7 access or immediate responses outside of reasonable hours without respecting boundaries. Obvious non-payment or chronic late payment patterns. Check reviews or ask peers if possible. Get retainers or deposits up front if you have concerns. Micromanagers who treat you like an employee, questioning your every move rather than respecting you as an independent professional contractor. And definitely any ethical red flags. Attorneys who ask you to stretch the truth, fudge details, or encourage clients to sign declarations that aren't quite accurate. Run away from those situations. Trust your gut. A key insight from the source is that red flags often show up early, even in the initial communication. Vague instructions combined with extreme urgency and unwillingness to sign a clear contract or haggling excessively over fair rates can all be warning signs. Remember the source's advice. You're a professional, not a pushover. Protect your business and your sanity.
Trust your gut and watch for those early warning signs. Okay, let's say you've built some good relationships, you're getting consistent work, you're delivering great value. When do you know it's time to raise your rates? And how do you actually do it without potentially alienating your good current clients?
That's a common question as freelancers grow. You'll know it's probably time to raise your rates based on a few signals. You're consistently meeting or exceeding deadlines. Your work product is clean, detailed, and requires minimal edits from the attorney. You're demonstrably helping attorneys save time, avoid RFEs, or win cases. And, importantly, you're getting asked for more work than you can comfortably handle. Demand is high. When it's time, how do you do it? For new clients, start quoting your higher rates immediately. That's the easiest part. For your current valued clients, give them advance notice. Send a polite, professional 30-day notice email. Our source suggests a subject line like, "Update regarding my freelance paralegal rates effective date." The email content should express gratitude for their ongoing partnership, briefly state the new rate, perhaps mention it reflects your increased experience or the value you consistently provide, and confirm the date it takes effect. Keep it positive and professional. Most reasonable clients understand that rates increase over time. You can also use this opportunity to offer flat fee bundles or monthly retainers at your new rates, which can provide more predictable income for you and potentially perceived value for them.
Give notice, explain the value. Seems fair. Now, beyond direct outreach and proving your value to existing clients, you mentioned referrals earlier. It sounds like the most powerful way successful freelancers grow their business. How do you actively cultivate those referrals?
That's absolutely right. Getting more clients through referrals is often, As the source puts it, the hashtag one way most successful freelance immigration paralegals grow. Happy clients talk. How do you encourage this? You can subtly ask once you've successfully completed a few projects and know the attorney is happy. I really enjoy supporting your firm. If you know any other attorneys who might need similar help, I'd be grateful for an introduction. Add a simple referral line to your email signature. Know an attorney who needs reliable freelance paralegal support. Referrals are appreciated. Stay visible and helpful in those online immigration law groups, LinkedIn, Facebook. Share useful insights without giving legal advice. Become known as a knowledgeable resource. Consider offering to speak at virtual CLEs or webinars for attorneys on topics related to paralegal support or practice management from a paralegal perspective. Great visibility. The pro tip from the source really sums it up. Make sure your work always reflects the kind of support you would hire. Deliver exceptional, reliable, high-quality work consistently, and the referrals will naturally follow because attorneys want to recommend someone they trust implicitly.
Deliver work worth referring. Makes perfect sense. As your business grows and you get busier, working smarter, not just harder, becomes essential. What about the power of automation and delegation to scale your efforts without burning out?
Yes, as you scale, your time becomes your most valuable asset. Automating and delegating repetitive or lower-value tasks is absolutely key to scaling effectively without just working more hours. Some examples. For client onboarding, if you handle initial intake info, use tools like Google Forms or Typeform to create standardized questionnaires instead of emailing back and forth. For invoicing, set up recurring invoices in Wave or QuickBooks for retainer clients. Automate payment reminders. For document collection, share those checklist templates via secure links from Google Drive or Dropbox rather than manually listing items each time. For tasks like certified Spanish translation, instead of struggling yourself, unless you're certified, build a relationship with a reliable freelance translator and delegate that work. For calendar bookings, use those scheduling tools like Calendly or Acuity. Let attorneys book calls automatically without the email ping pong. And as your business truly grows and demand exceeds your capacity, don't be afraid to consider bringing on other trusted junior paralegals as subcontractors to support you. That's when you really transition from freelancer to business owner, leveraging others' time.
Leveraging tools and potentially others, smart scaling, and how about monetizing your deep legal knowledge beyond just billing for hours or projects? Can you create passive income streams?
Absolutely. Your specialized knowledge, especially in a complex field like immigration law, is a valuable asset. You can definitely diversify your income with passive products by packaging and selling that knowledge digitally. Some ideas explored in the source. Selling templates you've perfected. Those cover letters, detailed hardship letter outlines, exhibit indexes, maybe even workflow checklists. Creating mini courses or workshops for other paralegals or even attorneys focused on specific skills, like how to efficiently prep I-601A waiver packets or best practices for remote paralegal collaboration. Writing short ebooks or guides on niche immigration processes or paralegal business strategies. Developing digital tools, maybe a comprehensive paralegal startup checklist, a pricing calculator spreadsheet, or curated resource lists. Offering coaching or mentoring services for newer freelance paralegals looking to build their own businesses, leveraging your experience. Platforms like Gumroad, Podia, or Thinkific make it relatively easy to sell these digital products directly online. It's a great way to scale your impact and income beyond trading time for money.
Diversifying income with your knowledge. That's really entrepreneurial thinking. Finally, let's talk about the vital importance of avoiding burnout. This field, immigration law, carries so much emotional weight, and building a business is demanding. How do you sustain yourself?
This is so crucial and often overlooked until it's too late. Compassion fatigue is a very real phenomenon in immigration law. Hearing difficult stories day after day takes a toll. Combine that with the pressure of running your own business, and burnout is a serious risk. To avoid burnout, you must proactively protect your energy and well-being. You simply can't pour from an empty cup. How? Set and enforce clear boundaries. We keep coming back to this. Define your working hours and stick to them as much as possible. Manage client expectations on response times. Build buffer time into your schedule. Don't book yourself back-to-back constantly, especially between emotionally heavy paces or complex projects. Give your brain a break. Intentionally take breaks and step away. Schedule time off, even if it's just a long weekend. Disconnect. Consider regular check-ins with a therapist, counselor, or a trusted mentor who understands the pressures. Talking about it helps immensely. Leverage your systems. Use those out-of-office responders. Use automation tools. Create processes that allow you to step away without everything falling apart. The powerful reminder from our source really hits home here. You left traditional employment for flexibility. Don't recreate burnout under a new name.
You have the power to design a sustainable business and life. Use it.
Don't recreate burnout under a new name. That's powerful. Wow, what a comprehensive roadmap we've really unpacked today. From setting up the business foundation, mastering those remote workflows, attracting your first clients, and then strategically scaling, diversifying, and importantly, protecting yourself from burnout. This really isn't just about finding a different kind of job, is it? It's about building an independent, impactful career that truly aligns with your values and gives you real freedom.
Exactly. And that's the provocative thought maybe we want to leave everyone listening with today. You're not just a paralegal if you take this path. You're a builder. You're a business owner. You're a freedom seeker, crafting your own future. And truly what we've discussed today is just the beginning. Consider how applying these core principles of strategic independence, combining compassionate expertise with smart business thinking, embracing entrepreneurialism, how applying those could profoundly transform your professional life, no matter what field you ultimately choose to pursue. This framework has power far beyond just immigration law.